to hear the echo of meatballs traveling down the road, which will join us in the fellowship hall for dinners very soon, and all the excitement that goes with that.
I love the sound of meatballs echoing
It
in
is
the
meant to
morning.
be funny.
Keep going. This is good.
Stop.
This is
No.
good.
Hey everybody, it's Pastor Los, eager to join you for another Gospel Unplugged, this week with my esteemed colleague,
Pastor Dixon.
and we are going to be talking about, I'm guessing it's going to be a more unfamiliar to more of you than it is familiar passage from 1 Peter, and we're doing that as we prepare for Rally Sunday, one of the really special Sundays after being scattered and apart in a lot of different places for the summer, coming back together. The start of Sunday school, choirs back in the loft, and of course launching into a full season of stewardship with gatherings, with meals, with videos, and of course with meatballs. So we are excited for all those things. And the passage we'll be reading from comes from the second chapter of 1 Peter, beginning with the 4th verse. Come to him, a living stone, though rejected by mortals, yet chosen and precious in God's sight. And, like living stones, let yourselves be built into a spiritual house, to be a holy priesthood, to offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Jesus Christ. For you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's own people, in order that you may proclaim the mighty acts of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are God's people. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. So many images, so many metaphors. Curious what grabs your attention?
The first thing that caught my eye as I was prepping this in advance of our preaching, which is comfortably far in the distance, was this idea of a living stone. I'm really comfortable with the metaphor of living water. We kind of all know what that means, and it feels adequately spiritual, and it seems like it gets at something that would mean something to us. But to describe Jesus as a living stone, how does a stone live? What is it trying to tell us about Jesus? So that was an image that seemed important to me, and I did a little research and a little digging, and I came to love it. I think stuff like that is really interesting in Scripture where it's familiar. You've heard this a lot. You know how to use it in a sentence, but maybe you haven't probed it really, and you haven't ever questioned, like, why do we use this phrase, or what does that mean? So as I was reading around, I saw that a living stone is a stone in its natural state, often one that's still rooted in the earth. And what immediately occurred to me was, if you look at like a Frank Lloyd Wright house, and there'll be a lot of natural stone there, and maybe water moving through or under a part of the house, and it looks like a wall or a room was built around what you would call a living stone, meaning that it wasn't cut, it's unhewn, it's where they found it. They didn't uproot it from somewhere else on the property and put it there. They just found it there and built the house around that. And I thought that was actually an interesting metaphor. It's not a way that we usually think about Jesus, but Jesus is an unhewn stone, a stone that doesn't fit neatly into the categories that people and powers and principalities might want to fit someone like him into. And Jesus isn't moved into this or that space or this or that ideal. Jesus is, I am who I am. And, you can build your house around him, and it's beautiful, but it's not something for you to sort of, what would you say, manage or manipulate to make it fit how you'd like it to fit. So the living stone image caught my eye early.
And what's kind of remarkable is we are used to some of the imagery, I think, about Jesus as the cornerstone, the language of rejected by the builders, but the chief cornerstone that God uses to build this new thing called the church. I think what's remarkable in this passage is that imagery isn't only applied to Jesus, but it's applied to the people Peter is writing to, and that includes us.
Yeah.
So the invitation to come to God, to come to Jesus as living stones, is kind of remarkable to me as well. I feel like we're so fortunate in this congregation. We have two beautiful sanctuaries. When I'm at the West Campus, I just think of that gorgeous shaped wood and those timbers and the outline of the window looking over the lake. And when I'm in Minneapolis, the more Gothic construction, sometimes I'll just find myself staring at the walls or the pillars and think about those huge stones put one on top of the other to build this incredible building. And yet in this, I feel like there's almost a corrective to it's not so much that there's something wrong with appreciating the building, but it's a reminder that the real stones of this congregation are not the ones that were piled on top of each other. It's the ones that are gathered and sitting in the congregation.
Yeah.
And that invitation to come as living stones, to let yourselves be built into a spiritual house.
Right.
That's what meant all of it is. It's the people who come in and then go back out to witness to God's love, to go back out to help a neighbor, go back out to be a citizen, to vote, to pay taxes, to make sure taxes are spent well, to go back out to care for one another, to go back out to be a neighbor to someone. All of those things that are responses to God's call. That's what meant all of it is. And it has been that, people coming and going for more than a century.
Yeah.
I just found that kind of amazing.
The lines in here about you people being a holy household and so on and so forth, it put me in a position where I was thinking about the Hebrew people and the tabernacle traveling through the wilderness with this tent, and their belief was that this is where God resided. God dwelled in this thing. When they set it up, that's where it was. And then later in the temple in Jerusalem, inside the temple, inside the Holy of Holies, that was where the most unadulterated presence of God was to be found. And now here, through Jesus Christ and through the sharing of this promise and this identity and this calling, like you said, each of the people here is a living stone. So this is the cornerstone here. This is the living stone on which the church is founded. And then we have all these living, mobile stones who are the dwelling place of God, individually and collectively. And when they leave on Sunday and go back where they go, they're bringing the tabernacle with them. They are the temple in transit. And where they go, God dwells with them. God dwells among them. God's presence is set loose in the world where they go. And I really like that imagery too. It's great for Rally Sunday. It's great for stewardship season. It's a good text.
I think it orients me too to what church is, what happens at church at its best. Because the words that Peter uses to describe this people, you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's own people. Those are huge labels, titles, designations, and I don't know if we realize that or believe that, or if we hear it on Sunday and go out into the world and it's a hard week or it's a pretty good week or whatever it is, do we feel chosen, royal, beloved? And it's hard to remember. And so I think part of what we do on Sunday is call people back together, these living stones back together, and then remind them again of how God sees them. To build them up, to send them out again, to witness to the mighty acts of God. I just think that's kind of a cool image too. So as we often do or always do, we'll close with a question or two. Yep. And curious if you have a question you wanted to offer folks.
I have one. I think I hear one emerging from your thoughts too. Mine is, if we accept Jesus as this living stone and we push back against our temptation to carve him down to size and relocate him where we want him, what priorities that we're holding are we willing to lay aside? What commitments are we willing to lay aside to build our life around Jesus, build our faith on Jesus, just as Jesus is, which is a harder thing to do than sometimes I think we
That's nice.
appreciate.
How can we shape our lives around the living stone? Mm-hmm. Very nice. I'm again curious about all those titles and wondering what it might be like for you for the rest of the week after Sunday to sort of dwell in and believe that God believes you are chosen, royal, wonderful, beloved, incredible. What difference might it make in your life, and what difference might it make in the lives of people around you if you can remind them of how special they are to God?
It's great.
So it's Rally. I mean, it is for me one of the top three.
Rally?
Christmas Eve.
Of course.
Easter.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The big three.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dress accordingly.
I was going to say, so bring it.
So
preacher.
bring it. Oh, yeah. I'll do my best.
We always do. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you in church. His laughter. Hark!